Welcome to Memphis, Tennessee. This is the 2005 Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships. I'm Sean Royster alongside former pro Aaron Katz. Aaron, the racquetball tournament of all time, the US Open, and it has been a good one up to this point.
It's been a great one, and today is shaping up to probably be the most anticipated match of the tournament. We've got Cliff Swain, the greatest player of all time, versus Jack Huczek, currently number 2 in the world and one of the real up-and-coming players on the IRT Tour.
Now, Cliff Swain has virtually hasn't been tested up until last night. He had a 5-gamer. Let's talk about his draw.
Well, great match last night against Alvaro Beltran from Mexico. And you're right, before that he had played Brian Istis in the round of 16, was untested. Alvaro certainly has him tested, maybe a little worn. That's something we're going to have to look for, whether Cliff at age 39 is able to recover from that match yesterday.
Well, Cliff, a fiery competitor. He's not going to let this stuff affect him. Let's see what he has to say about this matchup.
Last year, Jack and I had what people call the best match at the US Open ever. I don't know, I haven't really got to watch it, I got to play it. I know it was incredible. It was 3 hours, 5 games. He was playing well with his style, retrieving, getting every ball, a lot of passes, and I was playing well with my serve and shoot, and it was just a great match. With guys like Jack and Jason Menino, they're guys who like to control center court. They like to bait you into shooting balls that are a little bit too difficult from the back, and then they're great at re-killing from the front. So what I gotta do is stay within myself. If I have a shot from back there, take it. If I don't, go up to the ceiling or hit a good pass shot. So, would it be nice to win in third when no one else has? Sure, but I definitely don't think of that stuff. Anytime I start thinking about, really good things or really bad things, anything outside the moment is just not good for me. So I'm just going to try and play one point at a time today. And if I walk away with the cup on Sunday, then we can talk about that part.
Well, Cliff knows he's in for a battle. I mean, he had it last year. 5-game match, about a 3-hour match. I think he's ready.
Oh, he's going to be ready. Conventional wisdom would tell you that Cliff at age 39, a year older, Jack at age 23, a year more experienced, would turn the tide a little bit. But Cliff has never been restricted by conventional wisdom, so I think we're in for a great match.
Can you make a call on this match today, Aaron?
Do I have to?
You have to. Give it to me.
I will pick Cliff in a very similar 5-game match to last year.
Let's talk about Jack Huczek. Jack now got some wins under his belt, just coming off a huge win over Kane Wazelinchuk in the tournament before in Toronto. Leading up into this, he's motivated, he's fired up. Let's talk about his draw and leading up to this match today.
Well, Jack also was not tested through his round of 16 match. He beat former junior national champ Ben Croft in the round of 16 very easily. Yesterday, he was modestly tested by Shane Vanderson, the number 7 player in the tour, but not nearly as much so as Cliff was. He beat Shane 11-7 in the 4th game and was never really threatened. I think he'll be fresh. I think he'll be ready to play. And as you point out, Sean, very motivated. Jack has never gone past the semifinals of this tournament, and he's very hungry to get into the finals.
Jack Huczek, the most fit player on tour. The chances of him being fatigued or not ready or not fresh are slim to none. Let's go down to the court now and see what he has to say about this match today.
First of all, Cliff's a very tough competitor. Last year we had a 5-game war. He was serving unbelievably, especially in the 5th game. Actually, I think he won match point on a crack ace. I'm expecting much of the same intensity and the same serving today. I'm going to have to move my feet and stay on top of the ball. I can't allow Cliff to get easy points off of poor service returns, and that's going to be the difference of the match, serves and service returns. If I can service return very well, then I like my odds in this match. I know Cliff's been playing for many years. He's won many titles, but that means nothing to me. Past records, past experiences is not a concern to me. Every time I step on the court is as if it's the first time ever playing. 0-0, it's a new day, anything can happen.
Jack, very respectful of a great champion like Cliff Swain, obviously, but he's out to win.
Yeah, very, very confident, very prepared. Jack takes as disciplined approach towards the game as any pro. I've seen Jack play for 7 or 8 years. Every year he gets a little better, a little stronger mentally, a little better physically. He will absolutely be prepared to play his best match today.
We got the number 2 and the number 3 player, a young gun ready to just win it all, and the greatest player of all time. You couldn't ask for anything more in a great semifinal match. We'll be right back for more of the 2005 Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championship.
The Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships is brought to you by Choice Hotels International, family of hotel brands with over 5,000 locations and 8 different brands worldwide, offering every type of accommodation in every price range. We meet all your travel needs. For reservations, visit us at choicehotels.com today. Choice Hotels, we'll see you there. And by Wilson Art Flooring. If it's tough enough for pro racquetball, it's tough enough for your home. Enjoy the beauty and durability of Wilson Art Flooring. Available at fine floor covering centers everywhere. Nikon, the world leader in digital imaging, precision optics, and photo imaging technology. Visit NikonUSA.com for a complete listing of all of our state-of-the-art products. Nikon, at the heart of the image. Also, Nuveen Investments, dedicated to helping you reach your goals in life. Ask your financial advisor today how Nuveen's growing range of equity and fixed income products can help you support your long-term plans.
It was almost 50 years ago when Danny Thomas had a dream of creating a unique research hospital devoted to curing catastrophic diseases in children. More than just a treatment facility, this would be a research center for children from all parts of the world. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital has always played a big part in the sport of racquetball. Every year since the US Open began here in Memphis, the players take time out to go over and visit these children. The Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships has donated now over $100,000 to St. Jude's. This helps in advancing the research and treatment for these brave children. Not only is this great for the kids to meet these professional athletes, but it's also a reminder to the players, and all of us truly, what real strength and courage is all about. All right, welcome to Memphis, everyone. They're shaking hands and about to get started, a classic semifinal match. Cliff Swain, the greatest player of all time, currently ranked number 3, versus the number 2 player in the world, Jack Huczek. And this is going to be a great match.
Should be a great match. They had a war here last year, went 5 games. Cliff won at 11-9. The one time they played this season was also a war. Jack won it in 5, so this should just be a great match. Wow. Great shot there by Cliff. Once again, so alert in center court. Cliff saw that ball was falling short rather than back up on it, was ready, prepared on his toes, stepped up and just ripped a reverse pinch in the right corner.
Now Cliff, known for his drive serve, will more than likely be driving this entire match, which just takes a lot out of players, and most people resort to a lob serve. But Cliff, regardless of the 3-hour match last year, drove serve through the entire, from the time the match opened up to the very end.
You know, Cliff will mix up his serves, but you know he's going to drive serve. Jack will be very curious to see what kind of service strategy he tries to come out with. Bad shot there.
You know, Aaron, I have a question that many people ask about racquetball. You know, granted, this is a one-serve rule, but even back in the earlier days when there was a 2-serve rule, people ask, why do people lob serve? It seems like such an easy way to get the rally started, and it's like a setup. Why would somebody want to lob serve?
Well, the risk of the drive serve, in addition to having one serve where the risk is if you leave it short, you're sided out. If you leave it off the back wall, or if you let your opponent get a full swing at it, there's an opportunity for them to hit it past you before you've gotten out of the box. So by hitting a lob serve like you can see there, Jack has a lot of time to get back to the center court and try and control the rally. Great angle there by Jack. Cliff left his shot off the back wall, pulled himself out of position on the right wall there, and Jack really took advantage of it by hitting a good passing shot down the left wall. The thing to look for here, I think, Jack has a tendency to get a little too enamored with his court movement, and he lets himself get into a defensive role, chasing a lot of balls and getting on the defense. I really think what Jack's going to have to do today is play very aggressive like this and get Cliff moving around. If Jack initiates the offense against Cliff, he's got a great chance. If he allows himself to fall into a more defensive posture, allowing Cliff to initiate the offense, I think he may be in trouble.
Well, he's in good shape now. Jack Huczek leading 2-0. Little half lob to the backhand of Cliff. Couple misses there, nothing real spectacular in that rally.
No, both players look a little bit tight, working their way into the match. That was a very sloppy rally. Each player had many opportunities to put the ball away, and they couldn't capitalize. And this is typical early in a match like this.
Lob serve to the backhand. That was a great shot that Jack hit. It just happened to pop up.
Yeah, popped up, and Cliff, once again, great footwork, always on his toes, was able to respond to it popping up and just punched a winner right down the line.
Cliff lines up for the drive serve. Yet to score a point in game 1. Yeah, that
Great shot.
That wasn't a good serve. It wasn't really a good third shot from Cliff either.
No, Cliff, and here's where Jack, if he can exploit it, Cliff does have a tendency to get leaning forward, pushing forward in the court a little bit. Jack hits great angles. If he can get Cliff moving to the back wall or jammed like he did on that one, he can create a lot of opportunities for himself. Great shot there. Good start of the match so far for Jack. He's been able to stay on the offense, really getting a lot of first ball opportunities to attack Cliff. Very different from last year, where he allowed himself to accept a much more defensive posture.
Sticking with that same serve. Oh, yeah, that's a bad miss. I mean, it's generally automatic for Cliff Swain.
Well, it was not that easy a shot. Jack hit a pretty good down the line. Cliff was stretched out. Granted, I think he normally hits that shot, but Jack was in the center of the court, controlling the rally again, which has been a repeated theme so far. Good angle.
If you're just joining us, Cliff Swain and Jack Huczek, it seems as if it's a one-sided situation with Jack winning 6-0, but if you saw the match before this in the quarterfinals, Alvaro did the same in game 1.
Yeah, and Cliff, you certainly, the first game's important in all of these matches, but both of these players are capable and have come from behind before. Set up off the back wall. Good shot. Once again, a couple of opportunities there, and Cliff, like most of the players, I think, is of the belief that Jack's forehand is weaker than his backhand, and so far he's played his forehand a little bit more, and that's probably the right play. Right now, Cliff just hasn't executed enough, and Sean, if you remember, we talked a lot about this during the quarterfinals.
We're going to talk more about that when we get back. Taking a timeout. One game still underway here, 6-0. We'll be right back.
Cliff serving, 0 serving 6.
We're back. Cliff Swain in the box, lining up. Has yet to score a point, 0-6. Jack taking his time.
You know, and something, Sean, that we've talked a fair bit about the first few weeks here. Good rally. Set up for Jack.
Side up.
It's a bad call.
6 serving 0.
That's an avoidable, which
Entire court.
I think was a bad call. Jack looked like he was
Entire
pinching
court.
in the left corner.
You don't have it in you to just call that a hinder, though. Not surprised.
Little jab there to the referee, Jason Thorner. Toughest job in the building, that's for sure.
Great shot by Jack.
Point.
That is unbelievable, because not only was Jack off balance there, the ball was behind him, and he had the presence of mind to flick it cross court to the ceiling and control it to where it was wallpaper in the back corner. Tremendous hands, tremendous control. Ooh, good shot there.
Good shot.
Now Cliff, although he's down 7-0, I don't think he's going to abandon his game plan just yet. I think he's probably thinking, work my way in. I think he's suffered more from execution than strategy problems so far. Good serve, great get by Jack. Bit of a lucky break there for Jack. diving return, once again, even when Jack's on the dive, he's got that incredible ability to control the ball, either flicking it to the ceiling and forcing his opponent deep into the court, or when he's up in the front court, you'll see he's able to dive and re-kill the ball.
Short serve.
It's a good call. Cliff is starting to get a bit involved with the ref, which is usually a bad sign
Right.
for Cliff. That ball was clearly short. For him to glare at the ref is probably a sign that he's either a bit frustrated or maybe still a bit uptight, loosening up for this match.
I think that's all part of Cliff's repertoire, is to mess with the referee and involve himself. But as we've said in past matches, Aaron, it doesn't seem to be beneficial for him when he does involve himself.
8-7-0.
Now, once again, I thought that ball was an obvious skip.
Yeah, I did too, and
I'm
it
not
seemed like
sure.
the crowd was, that was as
Well,
obvious as it gets, I thought.
I think that Cliff in this match, we're probably going to have to be careful, Sean, not to be swayed by the crowd. I think Cliff is a tremendous sentimental favorite. Everybody recognizes that there's probably not many more U.S. Opens in Cliff's 39-year-old body. And there's what we talked about just a minute ago, that incredible ability, even when he's on the dive.
Before it made it to the front wall.
Even when he's on the dive, he's able to control the shot up in the front court and go for a winner. And that's something Jack has really added to his game in the last couple of years. He used to be much more defensive when he was stretched out.
Set up.
Good flick.
Tip. 10-0.
Well, a good start, to state the obvious, for Jack.
Unreal. 10-0 Jack Huczek has over the champion Cliff Swain.
Has played very, very solid, has been able to control most of the rallies, and has not been able to get forced on the defense by Cliff, which is really Cliff's game. Back wall. Good get. Great way to end it for Jack. Once again, diving forward, but still the balance and the presence of mind to punch an offensive shot as opposed to hit a defensive shot, which most players do from the dive.
Well, there you have it, dramatic fashion. Game 1, 11-0, Jack Huczek. We'll be right back for game 2. We're back here for game 2. Unbelievable, Aaron. I mean, not too many people can give Cliff Swain a donut.
No, and not a lot of positive Cliff can take from that game, but he's a veteran. He's going to shake it off, come back. He lost the first game last week to Alvaro in similar fashion. The only difference is Jack is a much steadier player than Alvaro, and I think we're not going to see a lot of swings in Jack's play. Jack is going to play very steady. Cliff is really going to have to up his level to get back into this match.
I agree. I mean, Cliff definitely missing some shots that aren't usually missed by him.
Great shot, and Jack is doing just a great job controlling the play, maintaining an aggressive style, which is much to his advantage. Last year, if you remember, Jack almost won the match and was in it, but was really fighting and clawing and playing on the defense much more than Cliff was.
Wow. Great shot down the left side wall.
Yeah, and such an important part of Jack's mental game is to put pressure on his opponent, that he's got to hit a perfect shot. And there you saw was a good example of that. Jack came back to center court, challenged the shot, and it was a perfect shot, but Jack wants to get inside his opponent's head, that it's going to take that quality of play to beat him. Set up. Good get again by Jack. Wow. Good get by Jack again.
That's great stuff. And that's the style of Jack Huczek and Jason Menino, where they put so much pressure on you get everything, and then eventually an opponent misses, but Cliff somehow buried that.
Yeah, and from Jack's perspective, he doesn't want too many rallies like that because he wants to get on the offense. He doesn't want to be chasing like he was there. And there he comes back and hits a great shot.
171.
Sorry.
All tied up here in game 2. Jack leads the series 1-0.
And Jack right now has his entire arsenal working. He's got his great defensive gets going, plus he's attacking very effectively as well. That's coming off the back wall.
Oh, lucky crack there on the right side wall.
Great angle, because even if it didn't hit the crack, Sean, I don't know if you saw, but Cliff was already in position to hit it into the back wall and would have given Jack a setup in the front of the court. So the angle was very effective, and then he got rewarded with a bit of a lucky crack. Set up off the back wall. Set up off the back wall.
Nice get. And a bad miss there by Jack Huczek, but great athleticism out of Cliff Swain.
Yeah, not the type of rally that Cliff is going to want to play. He played a very sloppy rally, made a few errors, and really had to rely on Jack's skip to win it. And you're not going to beat Jack waiting for him to skip the ball because he does not skip many balls.
Cliff Swain sticking with the drive serve.
Great get.
God, you're just bugging the crap out of me.
271.
There you see Cliff challenging that call, thinking that it skipped, thinking it did not skip. I couldn't tell, Sean. Did you see it?
That's a tough one, but I mean,
It looked
it
bad.
might have rolled in. I mean, he did hit the ball real hard. It's tough to see at that angle, but that's tough.
That's an incredible shot because Jack hit his lob serve right where he wanted it, pinned Cliff very deep in the court, and Cliff hit the only shot he could. He just hit it perfectly so Jack couldn't get to it. Cliff really needs to get something going now. He hasn't had any sustained offense.
Oh, bad miss there. Yeah, Cliff really didn't set up for that. I mean, it was kind of a bad miss. No good opportunity for Cliff to get a point on the board.
So far, the tempo and the body language really favors Jack. Jack looks very relaxed, very confident. Cliff still looks like he's rushing a bit. Doesn't look like he's worked his way into the match yet. Once again, Cliff really over swinging at the ball. Jack very relaxed, waiting for the ball to come off the back wall, and caught Cliff leaning over to the right side for the cross court, and Jack just ripped it down the line. Good high percentage racquetball.
Stealing ball to Jack's backhand.
Ooh. That's a bad call,
Yeah,
I think.
I think that's in the middle of his stroke.
Middle of the stroke, Cliff was stretched out or on the ground, and Jack was in the center of the court. I think what drove referee Jason Thorner to make that call, Jack was striking the ball so high that he didn't think it was going to be an offensive opportunity, which I think is a fair position. I would have given him the avoidable. And this is starting to look really bad for Cliff. He does not want to fall behind much further in this game at all, because overcoming a 2-0 lead against Jack will be quite an uphill struggle.
Jack's definitely got a game plan. He knows what he wants to do. We talked about it in the pre-interview on what his plans were, his serves, and his shot-making ability. He's got everything in his head. He's been thinking about it. He's played Cliff many times, so it's definitely clear.
He's got Cliff, right where he wants it now, and Cliff kind of gave up on that last one. Jack did not hit a great pinch. Cliff could have gone up and covered it and just stayed in the back of the court.
Completely stretched out there. Jack just barely missed that.
Yeah.
Great angle by Cliff Swain, though.
Yeah,
Serving 5.
once again, Cliff really looks frustrated still. He's rushing, over swinging. Does not look like he has, in his mind at least, worked his way into the match and began to execute his game plan.
Good shot, Mark. Good shot.
Good shot there by Cliff.
Serving 5.
He had just missed one that was probably even easier than that.
Pull it, serve off. Pull it.
Ooh.
That wasn't even close. I'm surprised that Cliff is even arguing. He's stretching his credibility for the close call he may want to argue. I think that ball fell inside the short line, and for those at home that aren't aware of the rules, if the serve touches any part of the line, it's short, and that one was actually inside the line.
Jack sticking with that serve to the backhand.
Set up off the back wall.
Straight down the line. It's textbook racquetball.
Yeah, once again, Cliff, not that he would have had it anyway, but he was leaning towards the right, anticipating Jack's cross court, and that's definitely an element to Jack's game that he's improved. He used to flick that backhand cross court much more often than he does now. He really opens up the court better now with that down the line. Great serve. Great angle by
It's a
Jack.
setup.
Great angle by Jack.
That's good hands by Jack Huczek.
That is just beautiful racquetball. Beautiful racquetball. Jack hitting a perfect serve. Hitting a perfect serve.
We're going to take a little break here. We're going to take a little break here. 6-2. Game 2. Jack Huczek controlling the match thus far. Good shot by Jack Huczek.
8 serving 2.
8 serving 2. Jack on quite a run here. Just like you said, Aaron, you don't want to see, or Cliff doesn't want to see, Jack run away with this because, as you said, it is very, very tough against a player like Jack to try to scrape back.
Well, the thing that looks really bad for Cliff now, it looks to me like his temperament is getting worse.
Good shot.
He looks to me like he's getting more frustrated, less patient, whereas last week when we saw him get off to that bad start against Alvaro, it was clear he was gradually starting to relax to work his way into the match. Here, I have not seen that at all. If anything, he looks more frustrated, looks like he's trying to rush Jack's lob serve even more than he was early on.
Point. Valentini had that check.
Jack looking for a hander there because the contact was made, but I believe that's a good call out of Jason Thorner. It was a great angle and a good pass.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jack was charging forward, I think, anticipating the pinch in the left corner, so I don't think he had a chance to cover it.
Broken ball.
Broke ball.
Ball breaks. It's a replay of rally.
So Jack will certainly be trying to step on Cliff's neck to finish the job here.
3 serving 8. Cliff lines up for the drive serve.
Oh, short ball.
It was short.
8 serving 3.
And Cliff had opened up that serve by hitting some very good serves down the left wall. He just has not been consistent in that cross-court serves to Jack's forehand.
Jack sticking with his serving pattern to his backhand.
Once again, forcing Cliff to go to the ceiling. Jack has been very effective on that lob serve. He's forced Cliff to hit more ceiling balls off the return of serve than I've seen Cliff hit in a long time. That's an indication that Jack is hitting that angle on the lob serve so precisely that Cliff can't get up and cut it off. And that there is what Cliff wants to do with that serve, is get up there and cut it off. But even that one, he was not very effective with it. He gave Jack a setup to his forehand. Jack skipped it. And with Cliff, everything starts with the serve and return of serve. And right now, he's losing that battle.
Wow, good anticipation by Cliff Swain. Oh, wow. Cliff all over the court at that point.
Yeah, that is not the match Cliff wants to be playing. You know, great gets, hustling as Cliff always does, but to be on the defense like that, point after point, is just not Cliff's style, and it's really not sustainable against Jack, because Jack gets so confident when he's able to initiate the offense that he's just going to keep running here.
Jack Huczek with a 2-0 lead in the series against the great Cliff Swain, known as the greatest racquetball player of all time. 22 years on tour.
Boy, great shot there by Cliff. Jack hit a serve very well, pinned Cliff in the corner, and Cliff just flat rolled it down the line. Good serve there by Cliff.
Between the legs.
Great get by Jack.
That's a tough shot by Cliff Swain.
Now this game, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but has started off much more in a tempo that Cliff is comfortable with. He hit an offensive shot off Jack's initial serve, and then he's been able to control the rally the time he served.
Right.
And there he gave it back with a short serve.
Yeah.
0, serving 1.
And Sean, I know this is painful for you since you're such a long-time Cliff fan.
Boy, yeah, you love jarring at me with that, don't you? Listen, he's a legend of our game. I like watching him play. You know? Let me ask him for his autograph real quick. Let me go down there.
Great shot there by Jack. Spinning around off the back wall. Once again, very calm, very focused. Just hitting a nice, easy pinch splat into the sidewall.
One apiece here in game 3.
Set up.
Very tough.
Yeah, now Cliff has looked a little more relaxed. Like on that return of serve there, rather than wailing at the ball, you saw him take a nice smooth stroke, hit a cross court, trying to set up his next shot as opposed to trying to win every rally with each swing.
That's a good serve, and yeah. I mean, even better return.
And that's discouraging if you're Cliff, because I think he put that serve just about where he wanted it, got it very deep to Jack's backhand and pinned against the wall, and Jack just hit a phenomenal backhand splat, scraping it off the side wall. Set up for Cliff.
Perfect angle.
Great angle. Once again, Cliff looks like he's starting to be a little more thoughtful about his shots, not trying to do too much with the ball. Even there, he didn't try and kill it. He just hit a good, solid pass to the open court.
Still one apiece in game 3. Drive serve. Gets hit again. He did jump. He did jump, but he got ripped in the back. Let's take a look at that again.
Once again, there's one area that Jack's really improved. When he thinks he gets a bad call, he puts it behind him much quicker than he used to.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Unbelievable.
I'm not sure that Jack got that. I thought it was a good serve.
I agree with you, Sean. I think it was 2 bounces. Jack tried to get his racket underneath it, couldn't. Fortunately, the call didn't cost Cliff the point.
Don't give him 2 bounces, too.
Oh, 3-point.
Good job, though. Let him call it.
See, Cliff, I think, is now trying to get himself into the match emotionally by arguing some of these calls.
It's a great serve. Just caught the side wall there towards the back of the court.
And really, the 4 or 5 points of this third game has been the best sustained run we've seen Cliff have all match. He looks a little bit more relaxed, looks a little more focused, and as we've talked about before, is not trying to do too much with the ball.
Got it. Oh, wow. barely came off the back wall here, but phenomenal shot by Jack Huczek.
Yeah,
Quick
great
hands.
and great ball movement by Jack. Really getting Cliff moving around the court, spinning him off the back wall, and then hitting a nice, delicate pinch, forcing Cliff to dive straight forward all the way.
We've got our little towel wipers out there cleaning up the court. When we get back, more of Game 3. We're back. Jack Huczek trailing in Game 3 here. One serving 3. Sticks with the lob to the backhand of Cliff. Cliff hits a perfect shot down the line.
Yeah, and
More of those down the line or these wide-angle passes are more effective against Jack. I mean, he's just so quick in the front court.
and where Cliff is not trying to do too much with the ball. Good serve there again. Again, Cliff hit that good hard serve right down the left wall, and the crowd starts to sense that Cliff is working his way into this match finally, and they definitely want to see more racquetball.
That's very, very tough re-kill. The backhand of Cliff Swain. So tough to reflick when the ball's coming straight at you like that, the reflexes.
Well, these players today, if there was one difference between the current generation and prior generations, of which Cliff has been both, is their hands are so quick in the front court. Set up off the back wall.
Jack questioning the serve. I definitely thought it was good.
Well, no, he wanted a screen. I don't think he was questioning whether it was short. He wanted a screen, and I once again agree with the ref's call.
6-1?
I thought the ball cleared further enough away.
What's the score?
6-1.
Jack skips the ball and takes a quick timeout. We're going to take one also. Game 3, Cliff Swain starting to find it here, 7-1. We're back in Memphis. 7 serves 1. Cliff Swain has a lead.
Great
and a
serve.
great serve. But he's not winning in this entire series. Jack has 2 games.
And this game has been vintage Cliff, playing aggressive, but a little more controlled aggression, serving very well and controlling the rallies. We didn't see any of that the first 2 games.
Nice get. Another point for Cliff Swain. The crowd loves it.
And Jack missed a forehand opportunity on that rally. Really had a chance and missed his pinch. He was trying to hit it sidewall, front wall, and missed it, hit front wall, sidewall, so Cliff was able to get it and re-rip it into the corner.
Cliff now with a substantial lead, Aaron, 9-1.
Yeah, big turnaround. Totally opposite of the first 2 games where Jack controlled almost every rally.
Go get that. Go get it.
179.
Get that.
Cliff telling himself to go get it.
And Jack, he wants to get a run here, at least to shift momentum back in his favor, even if he doesn't come all the way back to win the game, even if he can get to 3 or 4, it might change the tide going into the 4th game. Great get, set up for Cliff.
If you notice there, Aaron, Jack not straying from his serve patterns, has been sticking with that lob serve to the backhand of Cliff. I mean, if you're coaching Jack, what do you tell him?
That's a good observation. He's got to mix up that serve a little more because it looks like Cliff has gotten a beat on that lob. Even if he's not going to go to a drive serve, which he's not real comfortable with, he needs to hit a little different angle on the lob serve.
Short, 179.
Now Jack claiming the foot fault and telling Jason Thorner, our referee, to watch for it.
Yeah, and Cliff foot faults a lot. And once again, I don't understand why the tour has not put in a foot fault judge. They either need to put in a foot fault judge or eliminate that rule because it never gets called, because it's impossible for the referee from that angle to see the foot fault. And a foot fault being, Sean, what we're talking about is when the player's front foot crosses the entire front line, which Cliff Cliff's does do fairly often.
So just if just a hair of the shoe catches the line, it's still okay.
Correct. There's an effective serve. And there's Jack. That's the first serve, I think, this game. He's forced Cliff to go to the ceiling. And if you remember previously, that was a very repeated theme. He was consistently able to get Cliff to hit that return to serve to the ceiling, which is not Cliff's preferable return.
Another lob serve to the backhand of Cliff Swain.
Again, it looks like he's going to force him to the ceiling. That's coming off the back wall. And roll out for Jack.
Like you said earlier, as long as you can force Cliff to hit a ceiling ball versus attacking it, that's what Jack's trying to do at this point.
If he can continue to get Cliff to go to the ceiling, he'll hit that serve all day long. I think we're going to see Cliff get very aggressive on this serve, see if there's any way at all for him to cut it off.
Yeah.
And there you go. There's two ways to cut that ball off. You can either get it before the sidewall like Cliff did there, which is probably the higher percentage play, or you can wait for it to go into the sidewall and then cut it off, which gives your opponent a little more time to back out of the box.
And much more difficult to short hop it by letting it bounce versus taking it out of the air.
Correct.
It's a tough shot by Jack Huczek.
And Jack has already gotten what he wanted out of that timeout. If you remember, he called a timeout at 8-1. Cliff got back to 9-1. Jack is hanging in there, playing 1 point at a time, and you can sense there's already been a little bit of a momentum shift that even if Jack doesn't come back and win this game, he'll probably be in better position going into the fourth. Great get by Jack.
Wow. Just pummeling balls down the left side wall, and Jack getting pretty much everyone and barely missed that one. If that wasn't such a perfect wallpaper, as you call it, Jack probably would have had it.
Yeah. Better rally for Cliff. Controlled the rally almost from the return of serve on. And if you're Cliff, you really want to get out of this game. You don't want to get stuck on 9 4 or 5 times. You want to get out of this game, try and keep your momentum rolling into the fourth. Good serve. Set up. Oh, got kind of a lucky break. Cliff got kind of
aggressive.
Yeah, Cliff got kind of a lucky break there. He got jammed on that shot in the middle of the court, floated it back into play, but the ball caught the right side wall so deep that he forced Jack into a very defensive return, and Cliff was able to re-kill it up in the front corner.
Good serve.
Good serve.
Boy, what a terrible call that was.
That's not a good call. That's a short ball. Jack is stunned. Here we are, going into game 4 when we get back. Welcome back to the Choice Hotels US Open. Cliff wins game 3 after going down 2-0.
Great comeback for Jack there on that rally, because Cliff started off this third game just like he played most of the started off this fourth game just like he played most of the third game. Good serve, drew a weak return, and then he just hit the wrong shot on that pinch. Jack covered it and was able to poke it by him for a winner.
Well said, Aaron.
Thanks, Sean. I knew I can count on you for support.
No, I'm not the type to point that stuff out. Cliff cleaning off his glasses here. Still zeros. Jack does not want to stray from that serve. He just does not want to go away from that.
Yeah, we'll keep talking about it since it's such an important theme of this match. That whole serve, return of serve exchange is Jack able to force Cliff into a defensive return. Oh. And there Cliff got what he wanted. Jack hit it right back through the center. Cliff had a re-kill opportunity and just didn't execute. Let's see what Jack is going to do with the serve. His lob serve really did not work nearly as consistently in that third game as it did the first two, and you can see him taking a little extra time to think through what the right serve is. And there he mixed it up to Cliff's forehand. Got a weak return. Good angle.
That turned out to be a very fortunate...
Yeah, great. A lucky break for Cliff, but Jack has gotten a little more defensive-minded in his shot selection. Earlier on, when he was set up with that backhand, we saw him drilling it down the line time and time again for a winner. There he was set up off the back wall and pulled it cross court to give Cliff another play. There's a good shot. I think Jack needs to get back in a little more offensive mindset. He's allowed himself to fall into the trap of playing a little more conservatively as Cliff has started serving better and returning serve a little better. It looks like it's carrying over into the rallies as well for Jack. Great flick.
Wow, good angle.
Great angle by Cliff. That was a very awkward ball. You don't see that too often. A ball that hit the front wall, then the ceiling, and then the back wall. So it really came off the back wall with some speed. And you saw Cliff use great footwork to still move up to the front court and hit a great cross-court passing shot.
Quite a few exchanges here with no points scored. Wow. Finally, some blood drawn there.
Yeah.
First point on the board.
And Cliff is looking way, way better, much more relaxed. If you remember those first two games, his emotions looked like he was just so frustrated and angry he wasn't able to control his shots on the court.
Very good.
And that's the right call.
Yeah, it
Clearly
is.
Skip, and Cliff knows it's Skip, so he's not arguing with the ref.
There's a lot of chatter between the players and a referee in the sport of racquetball. And as we've mentioned over and over and over again, I believe a lot of that would be eliminated by having line judges, footfall judges, and some more referees, and ultimately a better officiated game call that.
Are you kidding me?
That's the right call.
He starts to swing right here when he's running to the ball. He wasn't even at the ball when you called it.
That is the absolute right call. And you can see that as the players, depending on who's winning, who's in a rhythm, there's a tendency to get too focused on the referee. That was the absolute right call. Cliff had a forehand setup, and there was the right call was the avoidable hinder. Good get there by Cliff. Bad shot by Jack.
Wow.
Nope, I'll give you a replay there. Safety hold up there.
Oh, because you.
See
That's
what?
one or the other.
1 serving 0.
Yeah, shut me up because you know you're wrong. Just call a point.
Technical warning.
See what Cliff is arguing there, and I really think he's stretching the limits of credibility. Jack held up, and Jack was really looking for an avoidable hinder, and the referee wouldn't give Jack the avoidable, but did give him the safety hinder, and Cliff wanted the referee to go all the way to the other side and not even call a hinder, which I think really was not a reasonable request from Cliff's standpoint.
And I think Jack would have screamed and yelled just like Cliff did, but they were fighting for who was going to scream at Jason first.
I think Jack wanted an avoidable, but you're right. Cliff beat him to the punch.
He did.
Good shot there by Jack.
0 serving 1.
Short with the ceiling ball.
Point.
Boy, I'm surprised. Cliff really had everything going his way in this fourth game. Carried over the momentum from the third game, was playing well. And for him to let his emotions get the better of him here and lose momentum a little bit is uncharacteristic of a veteran like him. Good get. Set up for Jack.
That's a good shot and good patience by Jack Huczek to hit that shot in the left corner.
And there's been a real shift in momentum just in these last few points. Once again, Cliff just really seemed to lose control of his emotions at an inopportune time. He was in control of the match, had come back very nicely, and the calls were not even bad calls. It was almost like he was looking for something to get angry at. And once again, Cliff just looks like he's fuming out there, starting to flail at the ball a little bit. Some of the same type of traits we saw in the first 2 games. He's going to need to regroup very quickly here, get control of his emotions if he's going to win this game.
Same serve from Jack Huczek going to Cliff's backhand. Cliff punishes it.
Much better looking stroke there. Not only did he play it aggressively by stepping up, he took a much smoother swing. He didn't flail at the ball like we've seen when Cliff gets angry.
Another drive serve from Cliff Swain. Drive Z. And tough return from Jack Huczek.
That's an incredible shot because Cliff hit that serve right the way it's drawn up in the textbook. Jack, very calm, very confidently, found the back wall with his free hand to get as close to it as possible and hit a perfect pinch in the left corner.
Wow. To me, a Z serve to Cliff's backhand would be better, and better than that high lob. And that's a half lob Z to him. I would love to see Jack experiment with a hard Z to Cliff just to see what would happen.
And Jack has that serve in his repertoire. He's just clearly decided that as long as he's winning this match, which he still is at 2-1, he's going to stick with his bread and butter, which is lob serves. They're going to the forehand. Good get there by Jack. Set up off the back wall. Once again, Cliff really over swinging at that ball and ripping it off the back wall, giving Jack a setup. And Jack just hit a very simple cross-court pass over to the left side. Jack going back to his more familiar lob serve position near the left wall, probably going to try and hit the lob nick. Does it effectively, comes off the back a little. Great shot there by Cliff.
Jack might have lost it in the glass. It's tough to see over there.
Yeah, and Cliff controlled it very well down the line. Jack did not hit a bad serve. He caught the side wall. It came off the back wall just a little, and Cliff was able to guide it down that glass wall.
Crowd doesn't like it. What do you think?
Wasn't even close. Was not even close. I understand, as you pointed out earlier, that this is kind of part of Cliff's repartee, part of his style, but I think it diminishes from his focus. Good flick by Jack to get back in the rally.
Great catch. This is a great rally, Aaron. Wow, amazing racquetball. I love it. The crowd on their feet, they're loving it. That is amazing. I mean, what can you say about the athleticism of these two players?
Just one great shot after another. Both players, if you're going to look for anything on that rally, Sean, phenomenal footwork by both players, able to dive and stretch out and come back to center court ready for the next shot.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the 2005 Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships. There's a series of 9 you'll be seeing on the Tennis Channel.
0, serving 3.
This is the pro semifinals. Up in the box, Cliff Swain, known as the greatest player of all time. Jack Huczek, number 2 ranked player in the world. Tough shot. Cliff now on the board.
And maybe that great rally we just saw, Sean, will be a momentum changer for Cliff. He won a great rally, came back, hit a strong serve, forced a weak return, and rolled it out. We hadn't seen him put much together for several points there.
Bad miss by Jack Huczek. You don't see him do that often.
No, 2 quick ones for Cliff, and he needed it because at 3-0 in the 4th, if he didn't turn it around, he was in danger of falling a little bit too far behind. Here's a good shot by Jack. There's that aggressive down-the-line shot that we saw Jack score so consistently with the first 2 games, and then in the 3rd game it looked like he got a little more conservative, started pulling that backhand cross-court more frequently. Boy, great shot by Jack, but for some reason Cliff stayed on the ground, didn't get up and respond back to center court like we've seen him doing, and Jack just pushed what was really a pretty average shot down the line. I think if Cliff had gotten back up, he would have covered it easily. All I can think of is that Cliff thought his shot was going to be a winner, so he stayed down a little bit longer than he normally would, but you got to play through that second bounce at this level. Great serve by Jack, forcing Cliff to the ceiling. Good ceiling ball.
Ceiling ball.
Wow, that's incredible.
Nice
Just
hands.
incredible hands by Cliff. And he was charging forward. The ball took a very awkward bounce, came in on his body and high, and somehow he just amazingly was able to guide the ball very delicately down the right wall for a winner. Tremendous hands by Cliff. Unbelievable.
Wow, he showed that behind him, didn't he?
We're seeing some incredible shots here, Sean. Cliff did not hit a bad passing shot there. Jack barely had time to get back to it, and somehow not only got back to it, but from behind off his back foot, he got enough power to hit a very strong pinch in that left corner. Good serve by Jack, good ceiling ball. Oh, unbelievable. That is, we're seeing some very, very high level of play these last few points. Cliff hit a near perfect ceiling ball. It came off the back wall just a hair, and Jack just absolutely splat rolled that ball in the left corner. Good mix-up serve by Jack.
Cliff had Jack going Jack had Cliff going the wrong direction with that serve.
Yeah, and then Cliff hit a good shot. Jack made a great diving get, and Cliff didn't capitalize. Cliff needs to turn things around very quickly because Jack has clearly gotten the momentum going his way and has mixed up his serves a little bit better to open up a 4-point lead here in the 4th. It's a good serve off the back wall just a little. Great serve by Jack.
It's a pretty decent lead here for Jack Huczek.
Yeah, I don't know whether Cliff has it in him to call a timeout, but he needs a timeout badly here. Jack has run up to 7-2, and if Cliff doesn't turn this around, it's going to be over. Good serve again. Ooh, good get. Set up for Cliff. Good hustle there by Jack. Cliff hit a very smart reverse pinch, and Jack, as quick as he is, still couldn't get up to it because Cliff hit it with such a sharp angle since he struck it with his forehand and hit it across his body into the right wall.
(2-7) now. Cliff trying to get his way back into this. If he goes down any more, he has the fear of losing this match.
There's a setup for Jack. Down the line.
Oh, wow. Cliff Swain. What a great forehand.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. You see Jack shaking his head. He's frustrated because he left it up a little higher than he wanted to, but still Cliff hit an incredible shot. That ball was pinned against the left wall, and not only did he scrape it off, but he splat rolled it.
Very impressive. 3 serving 7. Ball's broken. That was bound to happen. They were punishing that ball.
Yeah, this is really, the level of play in this game has just been outstanding. And whenever these two play, the intensity is incredible. Good get by Jack.
Wow, great shot.
Great shot by Cliff. Cliff made a very, very smart adjustment there. For the first time this match, he crossed over to the left side to hit a much sharper Z serve. Really caught Jack off balance because it hit back here in the corner.
Drive Z. That's not a good one. It fell a little short. Gave Jack plenty of room to swing.
You know, it wasn't a perfect serve, but it wasn't that bad a serve. It was pretty tight. Jack backed off it and hit, I thought, what was a relatively difficult pin shot in that left corner. Good get by Cliff.
Wow.
Great get by Jack.
Wow. They're going to need a towel, a mop for that court right now. That was amazing. Huczek was all over the place.
And for everybody at home watching, what Cliff did on that last shot was a very good fundamental decision to cut that ball off in the air before Jack had a chance to recover.
I love how they just kept playing and kept gutting it out. Definitely a towel was needed the last couple rallies. Finally, the little man is coming out with the towels. We're gonna take a little break here. Exciting racquetball in this pro semifinal match. We'll be right back on the Tennis Channel. 5-7.
Cliff really hanging in there, reaching deep down into his reservoir of heart. Ooh, wow, what a shot. I mean, that was not an easy shot. Cliff had hit a very sharp angle into the very difficult right glass wall. Jack backed up from very deep in his stance and just buried a pinch in that right corner. Phenomenal shot.
You know, one thing Jack's amazing at is when it looks like he's going to one side, he's got such a strong wrist that he's able to redirect the ball.
Well, your timing couldn't have been better there, Sean, because that was a great example of his wrist there. Cliff hit a very penetrating cross-court pass, and Jack just stepped back and flicked his wrist to kill it down the line. Again, great wrists. Jack thought it was two bouncers. Great shot there by Jack. Very, very aggressive play there. Staying down the line with his backhand and then burying it up front with a pinch with his forehand. When Jack's done best this match, Sean, very consistently is when he's been aggressive, stayed down the line with his backhand rather than going cross court.
High lob to the backhand of Cliff Swain.
Forces Cliff to the ceiling again.
That was the...
I kind of agree with Jack on this one. Cliff stayed in the center of the court. Cliff's shot was up. Jack's been covering that ball all day. Jack's only route to the ball was through Cliff.
But Jack Huczek would get to it. That's a great serve.
Great serve by Cliff. At a timely point in this match as well. Every point is just critical at this point for Cliff. He can not afford to make any errors.
Another great serve. Aaron, that's a beautiful serve. And now Jack just searching for something to break this. And now he's claiming foot fault.
You know, and I can't tell. I wasn't watching, and it might very well have been a foot fault, but you know you're not going to get that call with the referee standing behind the court like that.
Wow, Cliff playing on a very high level right now. That is 3 serves that are absolute money.
Yeah, 3 great points by Cliff. And the crowd is loving this because they would absolutely love to see a 5th game.
Just like last year, kind of a repeat of this battle that happened last year between these two players. But no, wow. Jack just hits a hammer to the left corner.
That was unbelievable. I mean, Cliff did not hit a great serve, but Jack just stepped back, and at 8-9 to confidently just roll a ball out like that, very impressive. A real sign of Jack's maturity and confidence level right now.
And Jack not trying to stray away from that backhand serve. Another ceiling ball.
Back wall setup. Great angle.
So flat. I mean, the last 2 or 3 shots that Cliff has taken have been as flat.
Yeah, and once again, I hate to keep harping on it, but Jack made a bit of a conservative decision there. Cliff's ceiling ball came off the back wall, and rather than staying down the line or pinching with his backhand, he ripped it cross court and pulled it off the back wall, gave Cliff that opportunity to spin around and roll out that forehand.
Jack holds his racket up to take the time to try to get into the head of Cliff. That wasn't a great serve.
Good serve, but again, Jack stayed aggressive, stayed down the line with his backhand. I think Jack needs to really concentrate here, staying aggressive. If he gets an opportunity, he needs to be going down the line or pinching, because his cross courts have not been nearly effective as his down the lines and pinches have been.
We're going to take a little break here. Exciting racquetball here. Game 4, 8-9. Jack Huczek, Cliff Swain. Welcome back. Big time racquetball here. Jack Huczek sticking with the lob serve to Cliff Swain.
Good flick by Jack.
Oh my God! That
It's amazing.
is ridiculous.
Cliff was going back, clearly was positioning himself to take it off the back wall, realized it wasn't coming off the back wall, and incredibly brought his racket through quicker and rolled it out down the line. Ceiling ball.
Goes out of the court.
Kind of a lucky break there for Jack, because that ball was going to fall short.
I cannot believe that overhead that Cliff just hit.
That was incredible. Certainly falling into
Crazy.
the not for you to try at home category.
Yeah,
You know, fortunately, Cliff's fundamentals are so great, and his racket was already back, so it wasn't that difficult an adjustment for him.
great serve.
Good get, set up off the back wall. Missed it.
And that goes, ooh. Wow, I thought that ball was going out. Stayed in, and Cliff stayed focused and just smashed it in the left corner.
Yeah, now Jack, I think, may have had a little bit of a mental letdown, and because he thought the ball was going out too, because once again, Cliff's pinch was hit well, but I'm surprised Jack didn't dive forward and try and cover that shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was gettable, though. Cliff Swain finds his way back, 9-all.
Again, see, there's that pinch that Jack covered that time. I didn't think that pinch was that much different than the one he didn't go for on the shot before.
If Cliff wins this game, we push it to a 5-game tiebreaker, which was what happened last year between these two players. And that's definitely what the crowd wants to see. They want to get their money's worth.
Great jam serve by Cliff. Wow.
I thought that was out of the court.
Yeah, that was an awfully awkward bounce. Very difficult to see that ball in the right corner on this portable glass court. Just a very lucky break there for Jack. Let's see if he can capitalize. Wow, look at this. Jack going to a drive serve for the first time this match. Z serve. Back wall setup.
Great shot. Not a good serve. An opportunity for Cliff to hit a great shot and doesn't hit a good shot.
Yeah, and Jack missed his opportunity. Cliff's return of serve was not very good. It came off the back wall. Jack had a relatively easy forehand setup and missed what I think was a down the line. He caught front wall, side wall, set Cliff up, and Cliff, as you say, just buried that backhand down the line.
Perfect shot. Cliff playing on a very high level right now. He's very pumped up. You know, we spoke about, yeah, amazing comeback. But we spoke about the pinky and the injury, and I like to talk about it because I think it's incredible how Cliff's holding a racket with a hand that has a broken knuckle in it, and you can't tell. What do you think of that?
I want to see the x-rays.
Game point.
Set up. Great get by Jack.
There it is. Cliff Swain pushes this to a 5-game tiebreaker. The crowd is on their feet. Take a look at this crowd. They are loving this. 5-game tiebreaker when we get back.
The Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships is brought to you by Choice Hotels International, family of hotel brands with over 5,000 locations and 8 different brands worldwide, offering every type of accommodation in every price range. We meet all your travel needs. For reservations, visit us at choicehotels.com today. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there. And by Wilson Art Flooring. If it's tough enough for pro racquetball, it's tough enough for your home. Enjoy the beauty and durability of Wilson Art Flooring. Available at fine floor covering centers everywhere. Nikon, the world leader in digital imaging, precision optics, and photo imaging technology. Visit nikonusa.com for a complete listing of all of our state-of-the-art products. Nikon, at the heart of the image. Also, Nuveen Investments, dedicated to helping you reach your goals in life. Ask your financial advisor today how Nuveen's growing range of equity and fixed income products can help you support your long-term plans.
It was almost 50 years ago when Danny Thomas had a dream of creating a unique research hospital devoted to curing catastrophic diseases in children. More than just a treatment facility, this would be a research center for children from all parts of the world. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital has always played a big part in the sport of racquetball. Every year since the US Open began here in Memphis, the players take time out to go over and visit these children. The Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships has donated now over $100,000 to St. Jude's. This helps in advancing the research and treatment for these brave children. Not only is this great for the kids to meet these professional athletes, but it's also a reminder to the players and all of us truly what real strength and courage is all about. Welcome back. Just exciting racquetball. Like you said, it just doesn't get any better than this.
Number 2 and 3 in the world, Jack Huczek and Cliff Swain going to the 5th game in the semifinals of the US Open. Jack serving 0-0. Great get by Cliff, set up for Jack.
Bad skip.
Oh boy.
Wow. I'm not sure where that came from.
Well, it looked like he had trouble by the left wall there. He went for the right shot, tried to stay down the line, just missed his shot.
I can't help but to keep thinking about this match, the same exact match, same scenario last year between these two players.
Was Jack up 2-0 last year? I don't think so.
I think they split games, but just the fact that they were in a 5-game battle,
yeah,
and the crowd loved it.
And this is a terrible start for Jack. He has skipped 2 very easy shots, one with his backhand, one with his forehand. Boy, what a terrible start, and he straightened up on that one. Jack has now skipped the first 3 balls of this tiebreaker, 1 serving, 2 for points for Cliff to give Cliff a 2-0 lead.
I got to think that the mental side of the sport of racquetball has got to come into play here. Jack knows he was in this scenario last year, and he's been in this scenario with Cliff before. I mean, he's got to stay mentally focused.
He's got to stay mentally focused, and more than what scenario he was in last year, what he's got to block out was that 9-5 lead that he had in that last game. And we've talked about it consistently. We talked about it when Cliff played Alvaro. Cliff is absolutely one of the best closers in the game of racquetball. Jack down 3-0.
Perfect shot down the left side wall, though.
Yeah, beautiful. That was not a bad return. Cliff had a pretty good cross-court angle. Jack was sitting on it. But still, you talked about how strong Jack's wrists were earlier. There he just flicked it right down the line. That's coming off the back wall. Jack didn't do enough with that ball. He covered it relatively easy, but just really kind of threw it up to the front wall. I think he was trying to hit it lower than that. Cliff was able to step over and cover it and re-kill it very easily.
Cliff now back in the serve box. 3-1.
Good stretch by Cliff. Back wall setup. That's the first cross court that Jack has won with on that backhand in a long time.
173.
Just get that.
Jack really needs to get it going here. He has gotten off to a very inauspicious start, going down 3-1, and really by most of his own errors. I don't know that Cliff has hit a shot yet. I think almost every rally Jack has lost has been on a skip. There's a good serve, back wall.
There's Jack forcing that aggressive shot again.
Yeah, and he didn't do much with that. I think that may have been a mistake for him to cut that ball off. I thought the ball was going off the back wall, and that was one of the reasons he was able to get so little pace on it. He was reaching up so high to strike it.
Wow, great footwork from Cliff. That ball came right at him.
Yeah.
He stepped back and hit a great backhand.
Yeah, incredible footwork, great hands, and I think questionable shot selection on Jack's part. He let that serve dictate his return rather than stepping up and either going down the line or into the right wall. He let that ball play him, and he ripped it cross court into the left corner. Great serve. Boy, Cliff gave one back to him there, and I'm not sure why Cliff went for that. He had hit a perfect serve, had driven Jack way back into the left corner, and all he had to do was pinch it into the left wall, and for some reason he went for the much more difficult reverse pinch.
Yeah, Cliff said stupid about 5 times. Ball's broken.
Not even check the ball, huh?
Cliff just takes every opportunity to throw a jab at Thorner.
Yeah, it's quite frankly, it's unnecessary on something like that. What is the difference whether the referee saw the ball break or not? A lot of hostility and angst.
That's a great re-kill from Cliff Swain's forehand.
Cliff looks very, very focused now, immediately moving on to business after giving it to the referee.
I mean, you would think Cliff would want to be nice to the referee. He plays a very big part in making calls that go the right way for Cliff, but he loves drawing at him.
Things are looking very good for Cliff right now, very bad for Jack. Cliff has a serve going, has Jack very off balance, and I think it really opened up with Jack missing those first few shots to start off the tiebreaker.
That's not a good serve at all. Came off the side wall, right into the wheelhouse of Jack Huczek. And Jack makes him pay for it.
Yeah, great pinch shot there by Jack. Let's see if Jack can get something going here to work his way back in.
Amazing get, amazing. And a very fortunate, so lucky.
That is clean living gets you that bounce, Sean. Very, very lucky. Jack was totally stretched out, did all he could just to get the ball up to the ceiling, and then got a crack off the back wall. Let's see if that turns momentum at all. Good serve, forcing Cliff to the ceiling, misses it very short.
You know, that crack, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about. You just never know. Shots like that can turn around an entire...
Particularly at this level, the players are so close. Any lucky break or shift in mental momentum can really turn the whole match around. A little bit of a mini shift here, Sean. Jack back at 3-5. Things were looking very bad at 5-1. Good get.
Oh, that's not a good shot, though. To be honest, that was not a good shot by Cliff Swain to hit that pinch.
Poor choice by Cliff, but he got out of it. Jack, I think, was surprised he hit it right into where he was running and overswang a little bit, gave it right back to Cliff.
Yeah, I think the reason why, or one of the big reasons why he won that rally was probably the shock value. Jack had no idea that was coming right at him. That is impressive because that was a beautiful serve.
Perfect serve. Cliff hit that serve right where he wanted it, and Jack just stepped over and somehow scraped it off the side wall. Let's see if Jack can get something going here. Good serve. Ooh, missed ceiling ball by Cliff.
Oh. He missed that ceiling ball, but it ended up being a tough one as it stuck on the wall there.
Yeah, well, no, Jack hit a very effective shot. Cliff was barely able to get to it. Cliff got a little bit lucky, hit a 3-wall boast. Jack covered it and tried to be just a little bit too delicate with his re-kill. And a boast being sidewall, front wall.
Kind of a squash turn.
Kind of a squash turn. Good get. Jack asking for a fault.
Skip, serve, and football.
375.
3 serving 5. Jack giving 3 examples why that wasn't a good one.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
He said skip, short, and foot fault. And fortunately for him, the referee only has to see one of the 3 for Jack to get the serve back. Great shot there by Cliff.
Yeah, Jack has tried that 2 or 3 times. Cliff has executed it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it's an awful tough angle for Jack to be successful with because Cliff is able to come up, cut that ball off, and move Jack out of the center court, and all he needs to do is really punch it down the line.
Somebody from the crowd screaming out, "Watch the foot fault, ref." And his foot is on the line, so that is a legal serve. Get that.
Set up off the back wall.
Wow.
Great get by Cliff. Good ceiling ball by Jack.
Oh.
Boy, Cliff just went for it. Right shot. Skipped it by a hair, and you saw him take that big, deep breath after he missed it. He hit it just about right the way he wanted to.
That was a beautiful stroke. Good rally.
Good serve by Jack.
Skip ball.
You know, Cliff, he's made a very nice adjustment later in the later part of this match. He's really consistently started driving his backhand down the line, particularly when he's cutting off Jack's lob serve. And Jack is not only is he less comfortable on the forehand side in general, I think he's having trouble picking up that ball on the glass. You know, the lights are very dark for the TV, and it's a difficult glass side wall. I think we're going to see Cliff continually driving that backhand down the line.
Quick hands by Cliff Swain. Great shot.
You know, Jack, by contrast, has consistently been hitting his forehand cross court rather than down the line, which is really puzzling me because righty versus lefty, you would think he would want to go down the line, not only because it's the Cliff's backhand, but to use that glass side wall a little bit.
Yeah, but to your point that you've mentioned in past years, it's the 10th year of this tournament. All these players have played on this court, and they've gotten used to it, you would think.
Well, you know, Sean, you would think so, but they only play on the court once a year, and you know, even though they play on it 3-4 times during this tournament, it's just tough to see the ball. They might get more acclimated to it, but it's still tougher to see that ball on that right glass wall. Great serve.
Oh, man.
Boy, did Jack need that one. Cliff really had everything going his way there. A nice run, was serving well, controlling center court, and he missed that setup. Jack needs to get some momentum going here, capitalize on that mistake by Cliff. Jack going to a drive serve. Good serve. Cliff flicks it to the ceiling.
That's a surprisingly good ceiling ball. I mean, he hit that perfectly, and right as it became into the strike zone of Jack, it was sucked on the wall there like wallpaper.
Yeah, incredible shot. And Cliff is really showing a lot of the versatility. much of which he's developed late in his career, his ability to change up serves, his ability to go to the ceiling when he doesn't have it, controlling his emotions a little better when things start going bad. Great serve again.
Great reverse pinch.
Yeah, and Cliff set up that jam serve so well. He's hit 3 or 4 cross-court serves to Jack's forehand, really got Jack stretched out and leaning, and then came into the body with a great jam serve, forced it right in, caused Jack to flick it up, and Cliff just buried that shot in the right corner.
Wow, an ace serve. Jack needs to go out and think about this for a little bit. Cliff Swain off to a huge lead now, 9-3, 2 more points, and Cliff advances to the finals. Welcome back here. Cliff Swain with a 9-3 lead in Game 5. Great get.
Set up for Cliff.
Oh my!
10-3.
Cliff Swain in a situation, opportunity to take this match.
And the fat lady is getting ready to come out.
Jack Huczek holds off the fat lady.
Maybe just temporarily, though. Jack has not been able to mount any offense since he was up 9-5 in the 4th game. In fact, he's been outscored since that point 16-3.
Wow. Here we are. I mean, with shots like that, Cliff is really playing great now.
Really turned it around. Cliff just played a phenomenal tiebreaker with a bit of assistance from Jack. Jack just got off to a terrible start and never recovered.
Cliff serving for the match. An ace serve the same way he won last year. This exact match. Unbelievable. The crowd is on their feet. Every single person in here is giving Cliff Swain a standing ovation. It's great to see this. The crowd loves Cliff Swain, rightfully so. He's a legend of our game, playing the game for 22 years on the pro level. Absolutely amazing. What a great match. Join us next week as we show you the final. Cliff Swain, unbelievable racquetball. Thanks for joining us, Aaron. I speak for both of us. Exciting racquetball. Until next time, more racquetball on the Tennis Channel.